Hello, my name is JP Hofseth, and I want to introduce you to a mechanic that I was tasked with building for a game that we're building here in the studio called Tournamental Builder. I'm actually showcasing a new mechanic that I did with our fellow student, John Flores. So let's get into the game and take a look at the two mechanics, and we'll take a look at the blueprints of how the new mechanic works because the original mechanic was in the last video. So first of all, we have our menu here with our selection keys on the side there and how to select both. So we're going to go ahead and hit start. That brings up the instructions. Now I added this because I had a couple people play test my game that worked in the studio and they didn't know what was going on. So I wanted to add a little something so that anybody can pick up the game, see the base icons, see what's going on, and be able to play the game. So here on our first level, we have our resources still, as was in the case of the first mechanic. And we still have our build tiles here. With the build tile, once it builds, you'll see a difference. Now, the door has a color, and it doesn't open automatically. So the change that was added with the mechanic was this push button. John Flores came up with this push button, and I adapted it a little bit for this game use. If you notice, this push button actually has two different colors on it, blue and red. And as you can see, once I hit the blue button, the blue door opens. Now, of course, this allows for the push button to control multiple different things. I have it controlling both blue doors and red doors. So if we go over here and on the second level, we show that to the player. We have the red door popping up. So on that side, we have the blue door popping up if they build on this side. Now, the red button, of course, opens the red door, and the blue button opens the blue door. But if you notice, when I open the blue door, the red door closes. And the same will happen with the blue door. If I open the red door, the blue door closes. This allows the ability to create different puzzles and allows the ability to make choke points so that the player has to think about what they're doing in order to get through to certain parts of the map. Now we have the original push block that was added by the original design team. I want to go ahead and keep that in the game as well. And from this point, the game just gets more and more complicated, adding all these mechanics together to create some interesting puzzles for the player. And of course we have our slide tiles that was also implemented by the original design team there. Now I could go on and on. I have multiple levels that I built into this. Actually, I think I'm up to level 8 right now. But as this is not a playthrough demonstration, but a demonstration of the mechanic, let's get over to our mechanic there and show you how that works. Just showing you that the menu does take you back. If you continue and quit, we'll exit the game for you. So let's pull up that blueprint and take a look at what we've got. Now, in order to implement the push button mechanic, I created another interactable, and this one is interactable push button. Simple, straightforward. Naming conventions I always feel should be straightforward. That way you know exactly what's going on, even if you're not the one programming it. If you notice, I got a button on each side. Now, originally I had planned so that each button could control something different, and the code is still there for that. But I combined it so that I'm only controlling two things. Either side of this is red, either side of this is blue. And so we have our event graph here. And on interact, we're getting the player, we're setting our message that they're pushing the button, and then we're finding player location. All this logic pretty much does is tell me where the player is at and which direction they're facing. That way we know exactly which button to be pushed, which takes us actually to the move button. In which case we're telling, hey, this is the button that got pushed, move it to this location, this button got pushed, move it to that location, and so on. Now at the end of this we have our door number. This sets whether it's blue or red, and I use just a simple integer for that, 0 or 1, since I'm only using two different things. And then when that's done, I set all those bools that you saw here back to false. That way that way it runs every time and we know what we're doing there. And then we have this animate button, which is just our timeline here. Um, Basic timeline set up to animate all the way and then go all the way back. That way we only have to run from play, from the start position to that end position. And then once the button is done moving, we call toggle door. And then we reset our message so it no longer says pushing button. So that's all that this blueprint handles right here. So we had to make some adjustments to the tile build door. If we go here, you can see that we are now having to tell, hey, what color are you? So when we go in here, we're figuring out what the door number is equal to. If it's equal to 0, then we know it's blue. If it's equal to 1, then we know it's red, and that sets the colors for that. And then we have our base rotation, which we had before, and now we're listening to that dispatch of animating the door and knowing when we're going based off of those push buttons. So that's what happens down here, animate door. We're now seeing what's the door number? Is it 0 or 1, blue or red? Has the door been built? And if it has been built and we have the right door number, we play our sound effect. The player can open, enter it. The door is now set to open. We rotate our door, and then we're running this door message. And what this door message does is say, hey, if it's blue, blue doors are opening. If it's red, red doors are opening. And then we reset it after a slight delay. Now, if we have our door number, but it's not built yet, or the door has been built, but it's the wrong number, we go down here. So this one is if that door is built, but it's not our right number, but it is open, then we go ahead and we close it. That's our toggling. So if we're opening the blue door, the red door closes, and vice versa. And then this goes even further. So if only red doors have been built or only blue doors have been built, and the person hits, say, only they built the red door, they hit the blue button, there's no blue doors available yet, so there's no point saying blue doors open. So a message pops up saying, hey, you hit the wrong button instead. Now, if nothing has been built yet, simple message on the screen says nothing happens, to let the player know nothing's going to happen once you've done that, which is another reason I decided to add that instruction menu at the beginning so that a player knows, hey, I have to build the door, then I push the push button. One of my play testers had a little confusion on that. They're like, why is this push button here? So I added all those messages in to make sure there was no confusion on that, and that seemed to clear up that situation. And that's all I had to do for that mechanic. If you notice, I did add a few more things to the game other than what the preview brought out. I have on there these menus. I also have on here a mini map, and I changed the directions because I wanted more of a 3D feel versus an overhead feel to this game. I felt it made it flow a little bit better. The controls can be a little bit jarring at first, but I found with most people after about 2-3 minutes of messing around with the controls, they quite easily adapt to it, and there's no problems with that. But I want to go ahead and thank you for the time you've taken to watch my video, and I hope you like the mechanics that I've implemented in this game because I've had a lot of fun making it. Again, thank you for your time. Again, my name is John Paul Hofseth, and have a great day.